Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
The rise of telework is definitely good news, but it could also exacerbate certain social divides.
Okay, it's time to get back to work now. You had your fun, working from your sofa with a button-up shirt on top and pajama pants on the bottom. But now it's time to put your suit and tie back on. Back to work.
But I was actually working. Sure, sometimes in my pajamas, without any makeup, sometimes from my bed, but I really was working. I made progress with my projects and delivered results. It's strange to call the return to on-site working back to work. It's almost hurtful, and it makes you wonder how certain people see remote working.
You're right. These stereotypes and the fact that we ignore them or inadvertently normalize them could easily deepen existing social divides. Is the rise of telework a threat to social cohesion? What's the story?
First of all, let's not forget that telework is work, and it comes with its own set of difficulties when you're not careful, like longer hours and contradictory instructions, which can trouble us when working from home or on site.
But it's also important to remember that working from home, free of the daily commune, in a nice quiet place is a huge perk for employees.
That's right, but it's a perk not all professionals can enjoy. Many professions can't be performed remotely.
So, this perk enjoyed by some quickly comes to be seen, rightly or wrongly, as a privilege.
And when those who have been denied the privilege turn out to be the same people who are most exposed during a difficult period, the privilege in question kindles feelings of injustice.
Like a group of construction workers who winked and said to me as I walked past their administrative colleagues' empty offices, "Of course. They're working from home. It's Friday."
It's just an anecdote, but it speaks volumes about the ideas people have about telework. And talking about returning to work will only exacerbate the biased view many people already have, which amounts to believing that remote work isn't work at all.
It's likely to deepen the divide between blue and white-collar workers and between office workers and those in the field. The feelings of injustice which may result could fuel class struggle and lead to widespread disappointment.
That's one of the reasons so many HR professionals, like those in factories and plants, for example, try to stay as close as possible to the field. They are constantly confronted with this divide and make decisions to bridge it by being on site often and reachable even when working from home. Some of them even raise awareness about what working from home really is.
So let's make sure that their efforts aren't forgotten because of a handful of hasty generalizations and oversimplifications.
It's also important for us as decision makers to not let ourselves be blinded by the benefits we believe telework brings. Like savings on office space, for example. It could come back to bite us any time.
Balance is a precarious thing. So it's important to raise awareness about the facts among all categories of employees and to ensure benefits are fairly distributed to preserve social cohesion in the workplace.
Behind this risk of a growing divide which will push harder on existing weak points, lie two major challenges: perceptions of fairness and the importance of interpersonal relationships. And these 2 points are prerequisites for the success of the transformations many companies are currently undergoing.
To recap, not everyone has a job that can be done remotely. Those who can't telework, like factory workers for example, are more inclined to believe, fairly or unfairly, that those who are able to work from home enjoy yet another privilege. So it's important to monitor the social strife the situation could kindle. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short.
Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.